I want to now get to Turkish stocks because they soared after returning from a week-long suspension prompted by the deadly earthquakes last week. Authorities basically threw their full weight behind the market to avoid a repeat of last week's rout. Bloomberg's Simone Foxman has been watching the market move. Simone, I mean, how much more support is the government willing to lend to this pop to the upside?
Well, it's already lent a great deal, pushing pension funds to buy Turkish stocks, pushing plans for corporate buybacks, eliminating the tax on those. And it does seem like that's the Turkish government's initiative right now, put a floor in this stock market. And also the question for us today is, does this rally continue? We saw all 99 of the 100 shares trading in the Borsa Istanbul 100. That's the main Turkish index. We saw all 99 up. Some 90 of them were up more than 9%, very close to that 10% trading limit, biggest rise since 2008. But look, ultimately, investors are going to be parsing the economic story. They're not necessarily going to be looking at some of these short-term factors in the Turkish stock market. Beryl Akman, our reporter in Ankara, has a great piece out about the pressure that some of the rebuilding effort could really put on the Turkish government. New data came out yesterday showing a $1.7 billion deficit, very much in check, but the scale of this rebuilding effort really could put strain on the government's finances, and that's part of where we go after these immediate reactions sort of play out in markets.
And Simone, we've heard from the Egyptian energy minister mapping out the country's ambitions in regards to a regional LNG hub. I mean, this is a country which needs transformation and income. How soon can this materialize?
Well, we've got to wait till 2025. That's the word from Tarek Al-Molla. He's the energy minister. Bloomberg spoke to him yesterday. He wants to increase LNG exports by some 40%. And what's interesting about Egypt's issues is it has the capacity to turn natural gas into LNG. Remember, that's the kind of thing limiting some of the exports coming from the United States, say. And so what Al-Molla is talking about is bringing more piped natural gas in from Israel and also expanding production of natural gas in Egypt. And that's kind of the key factor here. He mentioned that various international oil companies, the likes of Exxon, Shell, BP, all very interested in investing in Egypt. But if you look around at the economic circumstances, the devaluation of the pound and all the issues that Egypt is facing, do these IOCs actually put their money into the country at this moment? If this plan succeeds, though, a 40% expansion would make Egypt one of the top 10 exporters of LNG around the world.
I mean, 12 months forwards on the Egyptian pound, just around 36. Now, the country and at least 3 other Gulf countries may be considered for membership in the BRICS consortium this year. One of the group's officials has at least been telling Bloomberg this would be quite a major step, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would be very interesting because it would put this group of emerging markets together in a way that they may not have had already. So the countries from our region that has expressed some interest in joining, in addition to Egypt, also include Saudi Arabia, the UAE, Bahrain, and Iran. And they, according to South Africa's ambassador to this bloc, will be considered for membership this year. But the concerns from the other nations that are already in the bloc, Brazil, Russia, India, and South Africa, is that China could wield a lot more influence if it starts diluting how many members are in the bloc. Already, China's economy more than twice the size of the remaining countries' economy. Also, that a concern for the international community that this bloc could begin to exert more power, whereas advanced economies had really dominated a lot of global diplomacy, whether that's at the UN, the IMF, the World Bank, and the like. We're going to watch very closely for how these discussions go. They'll likely play out in the next couple of months because there's a big summit in August where this could be considered more formally.